All right, here's something some of you might recognize. We're replacing the transfer case shift linkage, something regarded as maybe one of the worst pieces of engineering devices in history. So yeah, this thing's coming out and we're putting in a cable. So to do that, we gotta get underneath the carpet here, and there's 4 bolts, I think, 4, yeah. One of them is out. We got 3 more to go. Once these things are out, there's a bracket on the inside of the tunnel, and that thing will come out. New shifter will go in. Where the new shifter will attach. I think this plate or this arm will actually get replaced with the new one. It should be here shortly, just waiting on FedEx. And it's a lot easier to do this, obviously, when you got the transfer case of the transmission out of the vehicle. Otherwise, you're underneath fighting stuff under there that you can't really. All right. This is the bracket we were talking about. It's for the factory stock shifter. Oh, this thing's stuck on there pretty good. Not sure why. It should pop right off. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is just stuck on really good. Probably just from the rubber mounts from being on there for 20 years. So once you get it free, it just comes right off. And that's what it looks like. Yeah, for some reason those screws are coming out. I don't know if this thing was taken apart before or they're just working their way out. It's going in the garbage now. If you just lay it up and see where it fits, there's a big gap under here. If you, and that's forward on the vehicle that way. So if you push down on that one, then these other 3 line up pretty good. But now we're left with a gap down here on the bottom left. Spacer, bracket, bottom left corner if you're looking up inside the tub. Bottom hole facing the rear of the Jeep. Holes line up beautifully. No play, solid. Time to install some bolts. Now it's up, it's in place. Torquing them down, that's a different story. I will need help with that, but at least it's in place, and that's a good start. Okay, so we got this thing all mounted up, and I started thinking, you know, this is great, but it's just metal to metal, and there's nothing really underneath sealing it. And this is where the aerospace background kicks my butt every time. Can't just leave well enough alone. Probably good enough for a Jeep, but you know, just for me to sleep at night, I gotta take it the extra step. So, let's see if I can get this thing off. There we go. Again, I wouldn't say this step is absolutely necessary, but just a little peace of mind for myself. I'm gonna go ahead and put some silicone RTV around the nuts, or around the bolts, just where they seal up to the tub. And not a whole lot, just enough to get in there to keep things interesting. Put a little bead as I turn the bolt. Should do nicely. I've already been criticized by a friend of mine for taking things too far because of my aerospace. aviation background, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'll be happy with the way it turns out. Okay, that went pretty well. As you can see, it's let me see. You can see the spacer right there, and there's no gaps on any of the other mounting locations. So that thing's secure and it's sealed up, so that thing will last a long time. This part's pretty easy. This bracket pretty much can go one way only. Mounts up on these studs like that, and then the nuts. And that's that. This arm gets changed next. Obviously those get torqued to the same torque. That's about it. Just have to torque those down to the final torque, same as the rest of the transfer case. Next, we're gonna look at replacing this arm right here. So that was pretty straightforward. There's just a nut on there that comes off with a washer. This arm, ooh, come on, slides right off. The new one, as you can see, has to line up with that slot only one way. So, sorry, I know you don't wanna. There we go. Fit right in place. Washer. Nut, and then we'll torque that thing down. And that'll conclude, I think, everything that we have to do, both on the transfer case side and also on the Jeep side. So next thing we got to do is install the transmission, and then we'll be able to do all the shift linkage stuff. So to be continued.